It began subtly, a fleeting image here, a whisper of unease there, nothing concrete, just a feeling. It was as if the very fabric of reality had a tiny tear, an imperceptible glitch that only the subconscious could detect. A shared discomfort that clung to the edges of awareness as the world woke each morning. People brushed it off. Life went on, but the dreams persisted. They were like shadows, lurking just out of sight, waiting for the quiet moments to creep back into the mind. They grew more vivid, more unsettling. The dreams were no longer just dreams, they were experiences, as real as the waking world. People found themselves questioning the boundary between reality and the dreamscape. Each night, millions around the globe found themselves in the same desolate landscape. It was as if an invisible thread connected them all, pulling them into a shared nightmare, a barren plain beneath a sky of churning crimson clouds. The landscape was hauntingly beautiful, yet filled with an overwhelming sense of dread. An oppressive silence hung heavy in the air, broken only by the distant echo of something unnatural. It was a silence that seemed to swallow all hope, leaving only a void. At first it was dismissed as mere coincidence. People laughed it off, attributing it to stress or an overactive imagination. A quirk of the human psyche. Experts speculated, theories were proposed, but no one could pinpoint the cause. It was an enigma that defied explanation. A global news cycle hungry for sensational stories amplified the phenomenon, but few considered it to be more than a passing curiosity. Then the whispers began. They were like a soft breeze, barely noticeable at first, faint at first, barely audible. They were like the rustling of leaves, a gentle murmur that could easily be ignored. But they grew stronger, night after night. The whispers became a chorus, a symphony of voices that could not be silenced. Whispers that seemed to emanate from the very air itself, weaving their way into the fabric of the dream. They were insistent, demanding to be heard. They spoke of a purpose, of a task to be completed. It was a message that transcended language, understood by all who heard it. A task of terrible, awe-inspiring magnitude. It was a call to action, a mission that could not be ignored. The world was about to change, and the dreams were just the beginning. The whispers wormed their way into the minds of the dreamers, planting seeds of unease that bloomed into full-blown terror. Sleep, once a sanctuary, became a dreaded necessity, a nightly plunge into a shared abyss of fear. The dreams seeped into waking life. People reported feeling disoriented, finding it hard to separate the real from the imagined. Productivity plummeted. Global markets teetered on the brink of collapse. Governments, slow to react at first, found themselves facing a crisis of unprecedented scale. The world held its breath, united in dread, as the line between nightmare and reality blurred with each passing night. In a desperate bid to understand and combat the phenomenon, an international coalition of scientists, psychologists, and anthropologists came together. They pooled their resources, knowledge, and expertise, forming a united front against an unprecedented challenge. Dubbed the Synchronicity Project, their task was monumental to unravel the mystery of the shared nightmares before they unraveled society itself. The stakes were incredibly high, and the pressure was immense. Using cutting-edge technology, they monitored the brainwaves of thousands of volunteers across the globe. This involved sophisticated equipment and meticulous data collection, ensuring every detail was captured. What they discovered sent chills down their spines. The data revealed patterns that were both astonishing and terrifying. The dreamers weren't just experiencing similar dreams, they were dreaming in perfect unison. This synchronization was unlike anything ever recorded in human history. Their brain activity mirrored each other with eerie precision, as if orchestrated by an unseen conductor. The implications were staggering. It suggested a level of subconscious connectivity that defied all known science. Humanity was connected on a subconscious level never before imagined. This discovery opened up new realms of possibility and raised profound questions about the nature of human consciousness. But what did it mean, and who or what was controlling it? The answers remained elusive, shrouded in mystery, leaving the team with more questions than answers. The shared dreams began to manifest in the physical world. Objects moved inexplicably. Structures appeared overnight, seemingly defying the laws of physics. Strange symbols etched in an unknown language materialized on walls and sidewalks. The whispers in the dream grew louder, more insistent. They spoke of a grand design, a purpose that transcended individual lives. The dreamers, they claimed, were chosen. They were the builders, the architects of a new reality. Fear gave way to a chilling sense of purpose. People began to exhibit strange, synchronized behaviors in their waking lives, as if following instructions relayed in the shared dreamscape. The Synchronicity Project, racing against time, made a breakthrough. They discovered a central point of origin for the shared dreams, a remote, uninhabited island in the South Pacific. All the dream energy, all the fear and confusion seemed to converge on this single point. An expedition was hastily assembled. A ragtag group of scientists, soldiers, and one rather bewildered anthropologist found themselves on a one-way trip to the heart of the mystery. Section 6. Fractured Lives. John, a disillusioned architect haunted by the emptiness of his creations, found solace in the shared dream. Here, at last, was a project worthy of his talents, a structure of such scale and complexity that it defied imagination. He poured all his waking hours into deciphering the whispers, sketching plans, his obsession growing with each passing night. Meanwhile, Sarah, a single mother struggling to hold on to her sanity, watched in horror as her young daughter Lily began sleepwalking, her eyes glazed over, mumbling about the tower and the awakening. The dreams were claiming her child, twisting her innocence into something cold and alien. Section 7. The Walls Close In. As the expedition team drew closer to the island, the dreams intensified. The landscape within the shared nightmare shifted, morphing into a nightmarish reflection of their waking world. Familiar faces twisted into grotesque parodies of themselves. The whispers became screams, a cacophony of madness that threatened to shatter their minds. They landed on the island, a volcanic rock shrouded in perpetual mist. The air crackled with an unseen energy. The ground trembled beneath their feet. They had stepped into the belly of the beast. Section 8. A Glimpse Behind the Veil. Deep within the island's caldera, they discovered a structure of impossible geometry, pulsing with an eerie, otherworldly light. It was a physical manifestation of the structure they were building in their dreams, a conduit between the subconscious and the real. As they drew closer, the whispers coalesced into a single voice, ancient and powerful. It spoke of a forgotten pact, a debt that needed to be repaid. Humanity, it claimed, had been chosen to build a bridge, a gateway for something else. Section 9. The Awakening. John, driven to the brink by his obsession, stumbled upon a way to amplify the dream energy. He had spent countless nights poring over ancient texts and experimenting with forbidden technologies. His mind was a labyrinth of theories and possibilities, each more dangerous than the last. He believed he could use it to seize control, to become the architect of this new reality. The power to reshape the world was within his grasp, and he was willing to risk everything to achieve it. But in his hubris, he overlooked the ancient warnings. He didn't understand the forces he was tampering with. The energy he sought to control was far more volatile and unpredictable than he had anticipated. It was a primal force, one that had lain dormant for eons, waiting for the right moment to awaken. Sarah, desperate to save her daughter, realized the connection between the dream and the island. She had seen the signs, the strange occurrences that defied explanation. The island was the key, a nexus of power that linked the dream world to reality. She knew she had to stop John, even if it meant confronting her own deepest fears within the nightmare. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but she was determined. Her love for her daughter gave her the strength to face the darkness. The world watched, holding its breath, as the line between dream and reality dissolved completely. News broadcasts struggled to explain the phenomena, while people everywhere looked to the skies, sensing that something monumental was about to unfold. The whispers reached a fever pitch. The ground split open. The very fabric of reality seemed to tear apart, releasing an energy that had been contained for millennia. The air was thick with anticipation and dread, and from the depths of the earth something ancient and terrible began to stir. The awakening had begun. It was a force beyond comprehension, a being of unimaginable power that had been waiting for this moment. The world would never be the same again.